Hello, friends from the comic book and manga world. My name is G,
I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the June 30th, 2025 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House. So the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell internationally. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at Pure H International Comics, where we'll post our news and updates on those channels. And you can see that in the description below the links so you can take a look and yeah discover our other social channels there. And we'll go ahead and get started on our picks for this week. And first up is Hector for cover picks.
Yes, with Archie versus Minor Threats. Number one, this is the cover C by Joe Quinones. Quinones or Quinones, however you want to pronounce it. It is written by Patton Oswalt, Jonathan Bloom, Timmy Haig, illustrated by Scott Koblish, and this cover by Joe Quinones. First of all, Joe Quinones, amazing artist. He has done a lot of work across different publishers. I think most notably in DC, he's illustrating the Batman '89 book, but he's done like work all over. And this one, it looks amazing, not just amazing, but also the concept of it, which is a very classic image, which usually shows Betty and Veronica on either side of Archie sipping on the same milkshake or float. Um, but in this case, you get the amazing playtime in the middle and the two boys, Jughead and Archie, on either side. And Sabrina is like, "What the heck is going on here?" And Scalpel is like, "Yeah, figures." This is a very cool crossover. I am really excited to see how it's going to work. And the story itself, it's like Sabrina is going to be sort of the link between both worlds. And on the character list, it shows that obviously Archie, Betty, Sabrina, Veronica, Jughead are going to be included, but also you have Playtime, which you see here. You have Scalpel, and you have Sheet Eater is going to be in it too. So I'm excited to see that too. And Salem is going to be there too. It's one of the characters listed, G. So there you go.
Mhm.
You're not going to miss
Yay.
out on that. It's a very beautiful cover, very cool, very well made, and like I said, an homage to a classic cover. I love that the way the Archie characters look, it's more of a the Archie cartoony way, and a little bit more realistic look on the on the Myra Threats ones, which is great too. And was there something I was going to say? Yes, I mean, I'm sure you've seen this. They repeated this sort of image of Betty and Veronica in many covers of the Archie comics, but also they have done a lot of homage. I even found that the Archie versus Predator, they did one with I think it's it's Archie and Betty, but instead of Veronica as the Predator, which is great too. So yes, can't talk enough about this one. I'm really excited about it.
Next up, my pick for Boom Studios, we have Blink and You'll Miss It. This is issue number one. The one that I picked for today is the Christian Ward. This is with the trade dress. And of course, Christian Ward, very iconic style. You could tell right away that this is their work.
Hmm.
And so a little bit about this one, we have Melody and Jess who fell in love a very long time ago in a tiny town called Perennial Harbor, which is a very interesting name for the premise because ever since they parted ways, the place has grown very, very strange. And everything, just about everything that as it was like a decade ago remains, which is that's like contributes to the strangeness there. And you have like the strangeness of the residents as well. It's as if again like they haven't aged along with time and there's this sense that there's a bizarre secret that is like brewing beneath all of that. And so when Melody, when her life begins to like unfortunately unravel, she finds herself slipping backwards in time, and she must uncover truths behind this mystery before it destroys her and the only one that she has cared for. And so I think the cover is a very good representation of that, like with the swirling. I don't
Yeah,
know. Just the
very
way it
trippy,
is.
very trippy.
Yes.
I like it.
And even how like the title sort of like warps into
Hmm.
the time warp. It's very beautifully, and you can see the aging of the character through the whirl,
Yeah,
the warp, which is very, again, very beautifully done.
yes. Excellent. The next up is Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone. This is part of the Kaisei era. This is number one, cover A by Pablo Tunica, who's also the illustrator for this book, which is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan. This is the second title in the Kaisei era of Godzilla share universe. And this one is extremely interested. It's there's this dead zone, this walled off area of the Pacific Northwest where the worst Godzilla attack in history in the U.S. history happened, and so they walled off and nobody can go in. But there's stories about this man creature that lives there, that roams around the dead zone area. There's stories even that he can kill a kaiju. And there's also stories that he might not be the only one of his kind. So we're going to be uncovering the mysteries of the dead zone in this comic. I love this cover. There's the other covers are all very cool, very amazing. So you should check them all out. But this one in particular, you see obviously the man creature that we're talking about, sort of walking around with a weapon and a tail and a hoodie hiding his face, but the snout is kind of sticking out. And he looks like he killed something and he's just carrying it around. But in the background, you sort of see the silhouette of Godzilla still menacing. But you also see it through like nature, but also like a rundown building, sort of signifying ruins. So it's very beautiful art. Pablo Tunica, another amazing artist, which I have been seeing some other stuff for him. I collected some of his stuff, and he's done things across different titles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and other Godzilla titles. And most recently, he did. Do you remember the Godzilla Heist miniseries? He's the one who did the movie homage covers. There was one with like Fast and the Furious and Mission Impossible and etc. So he's the one who did that art. So very cool. Can't wait for this one too. This is another one I'm really excited to see what how it's going to turn out to be.
Mhm. Before we move on, I just wanted to mention it was probably kind of obvious because this is the blink and you'll miss it dressed trade dress. There is also a virgin variant I should have mentioned. So
Ah,
I did want to point that out in case people were interested in just
yeah,
seeing like the full art version.
yes.
All right, moving on to my next pick. This is The Vision and the Scarlet Witch. This is issue number 3. We have Leslie Lyric's Lee variant, so the one with the trade dress and the virgin variant here. Um, so this one we have, like, just to reiterate, if you don't know much about the premise here, mysterious doors are opening all over the world, drawing people in, and it basically it draws people in with the promise of miracles, reunions of lost ones, highly desirable things that people would want. And so Vision, in this case, is mortally wounded, investigating the deadly truth that is behind the doors. And Scarlet Witch here resorts to extreme measures to save his life and the results are unlike anything either of them have expected. And of course, if you want to read that story and journey, you'll have to pick these up. So we have, I think, the 50th anniversary this year of their wedding. And then I thought this cover was really beautiful. You can see all the phases of the moon that's behind her, which I think is in the constellation. It's just really
Mhm.
gorgeous, beautiful art. And yeah, my pick.
Yeah, very beautiful. And next is Something is Killing the Children, number 43. This is cover G. It's a 1 in 50 incentive. This is it's a full art a cover by Ramon Perez. Another amazing artist, has done a lot of work across a lot of things. I especially remember his illustrations on the Jeff Lemire run of Hawkeye a few years ago. And of course, this is the James Tinian the fourth, whether they're continuing the story of Erica Slaughter and Slaughterhouse and the main story, obviously, of this character. And you can see here Erica, sort of on top of a monster, just fighting the monster on the mouth of the monster, being grabbed by the tongue, and but she's still being very badass, just you know, with her two knives, just yeah, planting her stand on top of on his mouth. It's a very cool, gnarly looking cover. I love that she is again looks very strong, very aggressive, even though the monster is about to eat her. But we know she's not gonna be eaten by a monster. Anyways, very cool. Can't wait. I mean, these are this is one of my favorite books since it came out. So love that it's gonna keeps going on and on. Very cool. And hopefully we'll get finally news about the upcoming Netflix adaptation.
Mhm. Okay, and a really beautiful cover by Jennifer Meyer. This is Usagi 10,000 Plums, issue number 5. Issue number 5 concludes with the series finale. So the way that the story is divided, it has two arcs. So issues numbers 1, 2, 3 was the first arc, and then issue number 4, the previous issue, began the second arc. So to finish off the story, you would need to pick up this last issue, of course. One of the things I wanted to point out, because I've been really enjoying reading this, is I like how at the end of each issue, they do a deep dive of the historical context that is being that is like being set in the fictional story that you see here. So for example, in the last issue, I promise I'm not going to spoil anything here, but like it goes into detail about the fraught history of Christianity as a religion being introduced in Japan in the 1500s and was introduced by Portuguese missionaries. So back then, like if converts in Japan were to accept baptism, they had to surrender being Japanese to do so, and they were re-Christianed with Portuguese names, required to dress in Western fashion and so forth. So the story like really shows how like converts were hiding their religion. There's like tensions between like the Portuguese at the time and also the Japanese, because at the time there was civil war within the country, so all the clans were trying to like fight for power and were converting simply to like exchange technologies with the Portuguese. And in that whole history, there became like this like initiative to remove Christians from Japan at the time. So there's like this fear of religious execution and so forth. I'm like doing a lot, but this is what I learned just
Mhm.
from the deep dive that they do. And what's interesting is like in one of the issues you see like photographs of like iconography research, even like photographs that Stan Sakai like standing with like the statues that inspired some of the art and like the statues that you see in his work. So it is very, very interesting if you want to um like look into and like learn more about Japanese culture and history at that time as you're reading through the story. So if
Yes.
you haven't picked it up, I mean, this is the final issue. Maybe go back and pick up the rest. Or
Yeah.
if it gets collected, that's something that I'd highly recommend doing as well.
Yeah.
I just have a lot of fun like learning more and reading as I go. So
Yeah.
yes.
Very cool.
And that's it for our picks. This is our piece of news for this week. If you haven't heard, surprise! Ignition Press, and we'll be distributing for them starting on September 1st of this year. And so these are like some titles, obviously, not all of them, that we wanted to point out here. So we have Murder Podcast issue number 1. This is the Jeremy Han cover. A little bit about this. This is like definitely for true crime podcast fans. In this story, those like podcaster fans are noticing that these brand new episodes of a show that they were listening to are all of a sudden like this like um so essentially the brand new episodes of the show that they thought were over were starting to appear in the feed. And so when they queue up the episode, they find themselves overtaken by this murderous rage. So the one thing that stops that is when the killer is stopped. So obviously this becomes a huge issue, gruesome death pulls in its wake. So that's that story. Next up, we have Voyeur issue number 1. This cover is done by Paulina Chow. And this one, basically, we have a culture obsessed with physical beauty, where essentially you can be guaranteed a shortcut to becoming beautiful through a sexually transmitted disease that has started transforming people who catch it. Like their facial features will start to change, body types will start to change to society's perceived ideal. So the only catch with this is that you will have this like slightly but persistent fever in exchange for beauty. But what folks don't realize is that there is more deceptiveness underneath this alleged perfection that they're seeking out. And we have detectives who are investigating mysterious deaths who are beauty victims. And this is that story. And then I should mention that wait, did I mention that? Yeah, I will move on then. Next up, we have the Beauty Book 1. Um, wait, I'm getting confused. Sorry. All of that I mentioned is for Beauty Book 1.
I was gonna say I it sounds more like the beauty, but yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
Beauty
The
Book 1,
voyeur is the
sorry.
one in Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, the voyeur is the one. That's why I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, so the voyeur, issue 1, Paulina Ghana Chow is set in a Thai resort. So we have this head of security who has access to the security cameras and on the island. And then we have this character named Madeline. Upon her arrival, she quickly understands and catches on to his game. But like he's not Rook, the security personnel at the resort is not who he seems. There's more to his little hobby, and she realizes and she wants in on his scheme, which is basically robbing all of its valuable art that Madeline wants in, like that she wants to be a part of. That's that story at the Thai resort. And beauty is what I mentioned.
Yeah.
I got my notes in reverse to how the order of the covers showed up on this slide. But this one is the direct market cover. I should mention that this comic book series will be adapted. It will have a television adaptation produced by Ryan Murphy, and that will be debuting on FX in the fall on TV. So that would be really cool. So it's a cool concept as well.
Yes, very cool.
All right, that's it for our picks for this week. Thank you all for joining us today. And as always, comment below on what you're interested in picking up this week. And that's it. Bye, everyone.
Take care.